All right, just got through watching. I guess if that's what you want to call a fight, I just got through watching Josh Taylor versus Kung Sung, and Josh Taylor delivers a crushing body shot that basically floors Kung Sung, and basically he doesn't get up for like damn near 5 minutes. That's the longest I ever seen somebody. St- uh, that's the longest I ever seen somebody lay on the ground from a body shot. Usually, usually you get up. Um, usually you get up in less than 5 minutes. But I mean, kind of looked a little over dramatic. But I'm gonna be cool. But at the end of the day, now we get Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez sometime maybe in early 2021, or you might get it at the end of the year. It's September, but more than likely it'll be at the beginning probably of 2021. So, you know, it's not really much to talk about. I mean, basically both men, came out. Both men came out like it was a filling out process, but Kansan did try to aggressively attack Taylor. He landed some shots on Taylor. It looked like Kang Sung was on his way to winning that round. I think he did a little bit more. I think he was a little bit more aggressive, and he was on his way to winning that round. And then, Josh Taylor got him up against the ropes. What's up? Josh Taylor got him up against the ropes, landed a body shot, and he went down. And he didn't make the 10 count. He was rolling all over the. So, I mean, I've been hit in the liver, and I didn't go down and I didn't roll over. Like, I mean, body shots can do damage, but I've seen people who got. I've seen people who got hit in the face get up quicker than that. So I mean, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. But at the end of the day, did y'all really think they was gonna let Josh Taylor lose a fight like that to a guy like him? That's why they put him in the ring with him, because at the end of the day, the big fight between him and Ramirez, that's coming. Now I ain't trying to say nothing, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, they put that guy in there for Josh Taylor to look impressive against and beat. So going into the Ramirez fight, you're gonna have all the anticipation, the ooh ah and oh. So that's basically what they did. Now some people is a little suspicious because Josh Taylor trains with the same guy. What's up? Because Josh Taylor trains with the same guy that worked with Tyson Fury, and we all know what's going on with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is very suspect right about now. And he has a history of being suspect. So some people are like, well, birds of the feather flock together. If he do it with one guy, he'll do it with the other. What's up? So that's what people was thinking. If he did it with one guy, he will do it with another. So people are now kind of like keeping an eye on Josh Taylor. I haven't seen his gloves flopping. Uh, I haven't seen his gloves flopping and going all over the place. So I will give Josh Taylor the benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, if you look at Davidson's history, according to fighters that, he sparred with and stuff, Nicholas Ashbury and guys like that, Davidson is suspect. But I didn't Josh Taylor from what I seen, his gloves was all the way. His gloves was all the way in. And keep in mind, this is the bubble. These are bubbles, so they're not going to go through as much regulation as they would a normal fight. And it's already been proven that you can do stuff, that you could get around the commissions and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said before, I'm not accusing Josh Taylor of anything. I'm not accusing Josh Taylor of anything, but people got their eye on him. That's all I'm saying. I thought that was Ben Davison, but I thought that was him. But I just wanted to, be sure. Just wanted to be sure. Like I said, that's all I'm saying. I'm not accusing Josh Taylor or nothing, but other people just saying they got their eye on him. And they have a right to. What's up? So I will keep an eye on Josh Taylor, and I'm sure everybody else will, but the Ramirez fight is on and popping, so that's going to be a very interesting fight. Both of these dudes, from what they've been saying, this is going to be their last fights, more than likely at junior welterweight, before they move up to full-fledged welterweight. So the overall plan is to get one of those dudes in the ring with Crawford eventually. More than likely, who do I think Top Rank wanted to be? They probably hoping that it's Taylor. That's who they probably hoping that it is. They probably hoping that it's Taylor. But at the end of the day, they win either way because they promote both men. I think Taylor is co-promoted by Top Rank, but Ramirez is promoted by Top Rank. So it makes all the sense in the world. Probably what would happen, whoever wins this fight, they get one fight at maybe welterweight, a filling out fight, and then they try to make the Crawford fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not that sold on Josh Taylor because for the most part, as I said before, you can make an argument that Regis Prograis beat him. Regis Prograis busted him up. It was a close fight. Some people say he won soundly against Regis Prograis. I didn't think so. There was a lot of close rounds, and they just gave. Keep in mind, Josh Taylor won a split decision versus Regis Prograis. He didn't blow him out. So, as you can see, Josh Taylor ain't talked about giving Regis Prograis a rematch. And at the end of the day, when you fight fights like that, you kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that a second time. I didn't think it was that close. I thought Regis did enough to get the decision, but like I said, I didn't call it a robbery. Well, I don't know if he gonna fry all the fishes at 147. He could beat. I think Josh Taylor could beat. I think he could beat some guys at 147, but I don't think he could beat all of them. I don't think he could beat Bud right now. I don't think he could beat Bud. I don't think he could beat Errol Spence. And Danny Garcia would be an interesting fight, but I don't think he could beat everybody. I don't think he could beat everybody at 140. at 147. I think if he fought Keith Thurman, the Keith Thurman that we saw like 3 or 4 years ago, I think Keith Thurman mops the floor with him. So I don't think he's gonna, I think they're gonna carefully place Taylor in the ring with certain opposition, but they're not gonna immediately put him in the ring with Bud or Errol Spence. And then again, it's not like they gonna make that fight anyway, because we already know those fights ain't gonna be made. Come on, man. Josh Taylor gonna beat Adrian Broner, because Adrian Broner won't let his hands go. Adrian Broner just recently said that the Maidana fight messed him up to where he don't like to let his hands go. So Josh Taylor would beat Adrian Broner. I favor pretty much anybody versus Adrian Broner at this point, because Adrian Broner, by Adrian Broner saying that the Maidana fight kind of shook him up, that showed me that Adrian Broner don't have confidence in himself, and that's not a good sign. Taylor versus Mikey Garcia. Interesting fight. I think probably Taylor would pull it off. See, guys like Jesse Vargas, he would beat those type of dudes. Granados, he beat those type of dudes, but Granados, from what I heard, went back down to junior welterweight. Yeah, Josh Taylor would beat those kind of guys. Yeah, him and Mikey would be very interesting. But he would beat a guy like Josh Taylor would beat guys like Saddam Ali. He would beat Saddam Ali. He would beat guys like Jesse Vargas. Danny Garcia would give him the edge over Danny Garcia. Him and Sean Porter would be a very interesting fight due to the fact Sean's rough and rugged style. Keep in mind, styles make fights. And I don't know if Josh Taylor is physical enough to deal with Sean Porter. When you fight Sean Porter, you have to be prepared to get physical, because Sean is gonna maul you. He's gonna rough you up. He gonna do, you know what I'm saying? He gonna do whatever it takes to win those rounds. And if you're not ready to out physical Sean Porter, you're gonna have a rough night. You see what happened to Errol Spence. I already know that's the master plan, but they not gonna directly put Josh Taylor and Ramirez in the ring with Bud, because basically you setting both of them up to fail. Look, at the end of the day, they already trying to age Bud out anyway. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They trying to age Bud out anyway. Keep in mind, Bud turns 33 on Monday. So that's basically what they trying to do. They just trying to age Bud out, which I don't like. But yeah, Josh Taylor, he could do some things at 147. Yeah, I like that's an interesting fight too. Ugas is kind of crafty. See, Ugas is kind of crafty, but you might would give Josh Taylor the edge. Now, an interesting fight for Josh Taylor would be somebody like Jamal James, because of Jamal James' height, his 6'2" frame, and Jamal. I mean, He's improved since that loss. James has improved since that loss. Now I would favor Josh Taylor over somebody like Delome. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He would win some fights at 147. It would depend on it would depend on the matchup. But we already know the problem is all these fights that I just mentioned that should happen probably ain't gonna happen because of the politics that go on with boxing. Because you got these promoters and you got these networks that stand in the way of a lot of these fights getting made. But Taylor's a solid fighter. He's a solid fighter. I ain't taking nothing away from that. I ain't taking nothing away from that cat. He's a solid fighter. I gotta give him credit. He came out to James Brown, paid the cost to be the boss. So I give him props because he came out to James Brown, paid the cost to be the boss. So that's a classic. Bet probably some of y'all that's listening don't even know what movie that's from. But before y'all go look it up, it's from the classic Fred Williamson movie, Black Caesar. Y'all need to check that out. One of the greatest black exploitation movies ever made. But I give Josh Taylor credit. He scored some brownie points with me for coming out of James Brown. So, but he probably did it on purpose because he tried to get him a black fan base. So like I said, I give him credit for that. Now let's just hope he don't ever open his mouth and say something stupid, and then you know what I'm saying, it just totally turn people off to him. So for right now, I'm giving Josh Taylor the thumbs up. Like I said, at 147, there's some winnable fights for him, but I don't think he can beat everybody at 147. Oh, what's up, bro? But yeah, Ugas, that's an interesting fight. Like I keep telling y'all, all these people that y'all named, they great fights, but none of these dudes want to work with each other to give the fans the fights they want to see, and this is why boxing is where it is right now. So let me move on from Josh Taylor. So we gonna move on to the next subject. As you guys know, the Charlo brothers fight is gonna start in about the double hitter. It's gonna start in about an hour from now, because I think it's like 3:26. So it's gonna start like around 4:30. You know, they gonna do the preliminary fights first. You know, the undercard fights. And then you're going to go into Jamal Charlo versus Derevyanchenko. I should have went downstairs to see what the betting line is, but I'm thinking about... Oh, what's up, D? Oh, okay. Nah, it's all good. I'll be back. I'll be back out here probably in November, December. But yeah, okay, so we're going to talk about the Charlo brothers. The betting line is, I haven't checked on the betting line, but I got a few dollars to mess off. So what I might do, I might just go place a bet on both underdogs, just to see what it do. I don't know what the odds are. I may just place a bet like $10 on Rosario to win, and then place $10 on Derevyanchenko to win. But there are some people that think that both Charlos may lose tonight. Some people think this is interesting too. Some people think if Jamal loses, that Jamel may very well lose as well, because they twins. I gotta look. I'm gonna go downstairs to see what the odds are. Cause I mean it's only gonna be 20, $30. So it's not like I'm like betting my rent or something or my card note or some shit like that. So you know it's just a little change. So I'm really gonna see what it do. But you know, I was hanging out with Kenny Porter and he said something very interesting. He say like when brothers fight, especially twins, they feel what the other one feel. So basically, if Charlo goes out and lose, then who knows what may happen with Jamel if Jamal loses. But I'm going with both. I'm going with both fighters to win their fights. I'm going with both fighters to win their fight. I don't think that both of these dudes gonna lose. If I had to say who got more of a chance of losing, I would have to go with Jamal versus Derevyanchenko. I just think that Jamel is going to outbox Rosario. Rosario can crack, but so can Jamel. And Jamel is a better overall boxer than his brother, where his brother is more of a brawler, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's why the first fight is going to be more bombs away than the other fight. I think both fights I expect to be good, solid fights. But I think the first fight is going to be more bombs away than the second one. The second one is going to have enough action that's going to be satisfactory to the fans. And I mean, for $74, it better. I mean, for $74, it better be. So I think, like I said before, I think both Charlo brothers will be successful, and I think they will be victorious tonight. Now, the question is, how many pay-per-views is this fight gonna sell? That's gonna be the interesting thing. How many pay-per-views is this fight gonna sell? Nah, man, that's gonna be a barn burner. I really highly recommend that y'all watch that fight. I don't think Derevyanchenko versus Jamal Charlo gonna disappoint you. Oh, the UFC, yeah, they got something going on too. But my computer only could watch one. Well, I could watch both fights at the same time, but I don't, you know. But I'm gonna just watch the box. I'm gonna just watch the boxing. But I am interested in seeing what the pay-per-view numbers gonna be. Like, what is the projected numbers that they hoping to get out of this pay-per-view during like the pandemic? Because this is sort of like the first like pay-per-view like pandemic during the pandemic. So I wonder what they trajectory is. I say the fight need to do like at least 125 to semi be a success, but I think it's going to underperform. I think it's going to do anywhere from the 75 to the 100,000 range. But then again, you never know. They may inflate the numbers regardless. Well, if it do 50,000, then that's a bum. That means it's a bum. Like, I'm hoping that they do at least at least 100, because I think they need at least 125 probably to turn a profit. Nah, they gonna release the numbers. They just gonna probably inflate the numbers. I mean, when you've been doing this for as long as I have, you already have a guesstimation on what this fight gonna do. I don't think this fight is gonna do 100,000, but it need to do 100,000, and I think for it to be a success, and I think for this fight to be a success, at least for it to be profitable for the PBC, I think it need at least 125. But at 75 bucks, which is only $5 less than what a regular pay-per-view costs, man. I think if they would have did 50, I think if they would have charged like 50 bucks, I think it would have did better numbers. Like, keep in mind, I know people were saying Oscar De La Hoya was like the top pay-per-view draw back in the day, but people got to remember, since you know, back then, pay-per-view back then, like Oscar De La Hoya versus Tito Trinidad was $49.99. It was 50 bucks. So of course, if it's 50 bucks, of course you're gonna sell maybe 1.5, you know, 1.7 pay-per-views, because it was 50 bucks. Now, I don't remember how much Floyd versus I don't remember how much was Floyd versus De La Hoya. I think it was 70 bucks at the time. Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, so that's what people gotta remember. Like Mike Tyson versus Lennox Lewis, I think it was around maybe 60 bucks. And then it just jumped from like 50 to 60 to 70, 80. Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao was like 100 bucks. And I think his fight versus Conor McGregor was like it was up there. Cause I know Wilder Fury was like Wilder Fury 2 was like 80 bucks. So that's what I'm saying. They talked about 74 bucks. This like fight is only like basically $6 cheaper than a regular pay-per-view. Hey, appreciate that. Hey, Vince, I'm gonna text you after I end this live stream. So I'm gonna hit you up after the live stream over. So yeah. So basically, I mean, I'm just saying, man, basically people got to understand the numbers is different. So when people say, well, we made this amount and we sold this many pay-per-views, you got to understand the numbers are inflated. If Oscar De La Hoya and Trinidad was like 80 bucks, I guarantee you that fight wouldn't have did no over 1 million pay-per-views. I promise you that. Shit, it was 50 bucks back then. So that's what people got to take into account. And like I said, $75, $74.99, that's still pricey. Like I said, I was hoping more for the $60 range, but I don't think this fight is gonna do no solid numbers. And then, as I said before, you already know the super extreme PBC apologists, they're gonna try to make it be a success no matter what it is. But I'm just saying, my expectations, if this fight don't do 125, if it do like 100,000, it still should be considered a disappointment. But this fight got like, at the max, and I'm being generous, at the max, this fight may be like I'll say to be nice, 70,000. Man, that fight ain't gonna do nowhere near 250,000. That I think people don't understand marketing. Had they made it a little cheaper and tried to advertise it a little bit better, it would have had the chance to do those type of numbers. Like if they had spent like a month advertising and doing commercials and all that kind of stuff, yeah, they would have had a chance. So like I said, I'm expecting somewhere like 70,000, but we'll see if they release the actual numbers. And if they come with some, I'm gonna be honest with you, if they come with some, it did like 150,000, I ain't even gonna believe it. But then I'm gonna get called a hater. Well, I guess you know what I'm saying. It's a difference between being a hater and then being a realist. Well, there you go. I know it ain't gonna do over 100. I mean, I ain't seen no commercials talking about this fight. Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. We about to go, going into October like next week. I say by the 15th of October, they need to start heavily advertising Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. They need to start like trying to promote that fight heavily. But we'll see what they do. Cause I ain't seen one commercial for this fight. You wouldn't even know it was a fight tonight if we wasn't talking about it. I'm gonna just tell you the truth. There's people that still don't believe in what you would call this type of media. But it's kind of funny. All the people that talk trash about YouTube media and people with these type of platforms, Roland Martin, all these other people now they starting podcasts, YouTube channels, and all that. They all starting YouTube channels, but Dana White and them is ahead of the curve as far as that go, and they understand that they need to try to market their fights. And I just think that the PBC is still a little bit behind, and boxing is still behind because they refuse to accept the fact that this is how you sell fights when you go through this type of media. TV media and print media is on their way out. This is the way to go due to the fact that people not even watching TV very much anymore. This is the way to go. They don't understand that. They need to understand it, or they refuse to accept it. Some people understand something, but they refuse to accept it. And I think that's what's going on with some of these boxing promotional companies. This is why we've been trying to tell the fighters that they need to like sort of follow suit. Like what Bill is doing. What Bill is doing where he contacting and talking to all this media. He know what time it is. He getting ahead of the curve. See, he get it. Where all these other dudes, some of these dudes act like they don't have to talk to us. Well, at the end of the day, they gonna need us to sell their fights. Yeah. See, Bill get it. I mean, Bill from the same place as me. We get it. One thing that like dudes like me and Bill, you got to have a mouthpiece. You got to make connections. You just can't you just can't like stay local. Like you got to have connects everywhere. And that's what Beal is doing. That's why Beal is outsmarting everybody. This is why Devin Haney in the next couple of years he may have one of the biggest fan base in boxing because of Beal. Y'all got to understand Beal got that, not without telling too much of Beal's business, you got to understand Beal got that hustler, he got that pimp mentality. He got that mouthpiece. Beal is old. See, the thing is with Beal is old school East Oakland. Like me. Beal is like, you know what I'm saying? Beal is a few years older than me. Beal is old school East Oakland. Beal came up in that time like when drug dealers actually sold dope. You know what I'm saying? For real. That's what era Beal is from. Beal is from the Loonies, the Too Short era. You know, Rappin' Ron and Diddley Dog, MC Breed. That's what era Beal is from. That's our era. That's me and Beal's era. So Beal have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like I say, Beal is ahead of the curve. Beal is 50. I'm gonna be 46 on Tuesday. So he from, that's what I'm saying. Beal is from, like I said, Beal is from that era. Like when you met a chick, you really had to have a mouthpiece just to get the number or the beeper number. Actually, they didn't have no cell phones like back in the, you know what I'm saying? You used to have to have a good mouthpiece to get the beeper number. So, yeah. Nah, they live in Nevada. But Bill be like back and forth to the Bay and stuff. So, Bill travel a lot. Well, they got what you would call a partnership. Because it's still Devin Haney, but it's supposed to be like a joint partnership. Devin Haney Promotions along with Matchroom. Let me talk about that right quick. I'll talk some NBA and I'll get back to boxing. No, they not gonna let the Nuggets win this series. No, they're not gonna let the Nuggets win this series. When I say the Nuggets and the Heat would be a disaster for the NBA, they want it to be LeBron versus somebody. It's basically LeBron versus whoever, but they probably would prefer the Celtics. And it looked like the Heat. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Heat lose Game 6, they gonna probably lose the whole series. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The Heat, if the Heat lose Game 6, they gonna lose the series. I'm being completely honest. Because I see it coming. They call it closeout games for a reason. Oh, I know. If they lose, I'm telling you right now, if the Heat don't close them out in the next game, they're gonna lose game 7. Because I said if the Clippers didn't win Game 6, they probably was gonna lose Game 7, and they didn't deserve to win the series, and that's exactly what happened. It just looked like Jimmy Butler choked. But hopefully he get it together. Hopefully Jimmy B get it together the next game, because at the end of the day, a lot is riding on him, because this is his chance, whether he get to the finals and win or get to the finals and not win. This elevates Jimmy Butler to what you would call superstar status, because at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler has always been what you would call a star player, but he never like reached superstar level. He always been a good player on both ends of the court. But if he blow this, if because at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler will be the guy that they point the finger at if they don't win this series. It is what it is. Whether it's fair or unfair, everybody gonna point the finger at Jimmy Butler. So he better get it done. He better get it done. And Denver is not gonna win this series. I'm not gonna say book it, but they not gonna win this series. I think the Lakers know that they need to get this over with, and I think they gonna close out this game. All right, you guys. I'll be back.